for what's likely the final time 4 Welsh sides head into a new URC season. Despite the uncertainty around their futures, with the Welsh Rugby Union planning to cut 2 teams, Cardiff, the Dragons, Ospreys and the Scarlets have all been busy this summer. From last minute coach departures to 16 new signings, here's how they're shaping up. So, 2 of these sides may not exist after this season. The WRU has run a consultation with players, clubs and fans, though the survey looked a bit more like a box-ticking exercise to back their 2-team model. The fact that there has been such backlash from the clubs, players and fans, as you'd expect. There may be some middle ground accepted with DOR Dave Redden and co, and they claim that they'll have a final decision by late October. But first, we've got a season to start. And let's start with Cardiff. They have just dealt the bombshell news that coach Matt Sherratt is going to join Wales full-time just days before the URC season starts. Not quite the stability they needed after only being pulled out of administration by the WRU a few months ago. They had recruited nicely, with Tame Basham joining from the Dragons, hoping to reignite his Wales career, as is Johan Lloyd, who will be fighting for that 10 jersey after joining from the Scarlets. They have also brought in some young talent from the Wales under-20s, with Johan Emmanuel rejoining his brother and centre, Steph. As well as Sherratt's departure, there is further woe, with injuries to James Botham and Mason Grady, who had only just returned to action in pre-season after a long time out, which rules them out of contention for Wales in the autumn, and the start of Cardiff's bids to improve on that narrow playoff miss last season. Whether that's possible now, as the coaching staff now step up and take charge, is anyone's guess. The Dragons. You probably know how this starts. Bottom of the URC last season with just 2 wins, with the false dawns repeating itself year on year. You can forgive fans for being a bit more optimistic this time around though. There's been a 16 signing overhaul of the squad, with plenty experience arriving in the form of Wyn Jones, Dylan Lewis, Thomas Young and Fly-Off De Beer. Philo Tia stepped up from defence coach halfway through last season, and we'll be hoping they, along with centre row wing Finney Anisi from Moana Pacifica, and second row Levi Douglas from Biarritz, will prove to be key signings as they look to shake off that basement boys tag once and for all. Scarlets were the only Welsh side to reach the URC playoffs last season, as they really kicked into gear. They possess the most potent attacking backline of all 4 regions, with some exciting youngsters coming through and starting to make a name for themselves. Joe Hawkins was the next Gatland Golden Boy before he left for Exeter, and was made quite harshly an example of with the 25 cap rule. But a return to Wales and a 10 or 12 option for coach Dwayne Peel, he could find himself back in the Wales squad this autumn if he makes a strong start to the season. They have lost Via Fafita this summer, but perhaps a few powerful ball carriers aside, they're looking in pretty good shape going into the season. Injuries to young centre Eddie James and hooker Ryan Elias is a blow for both club and country, but expect to see even more from X-Factor wing or centre Max Page, who is looking the part already in the Scarlets' attacking DNA. Mark Jones not only has a fantastic name, but is quietly building his impressive reputation already as a young coach after turning things around since taking over from Toby Booth early into last season. The Ospreys possess the most dominant set of forwards of the 4, with the likes of Dewi Lake, Gareth Thomas, Tom Boter, Jack Morgan, James Fender, and one of the brightest young prospects in Wales at the moment, Morgan Morse, to choose from, while Justin Tipperick moves on to the coaching staff under Jones this season. The departure of experienced lock Adam Beard to Montpellier is a blow, but the signing of Queensland Reds captain Ryan Smith and Ross Moriarty should pack even more punch. Their backline might not have the same feel of flair as maybe the Scarlets or Cardiff, but Dan Edwards is a real talent and could be Wales' 10 going into the autumn under the new Steve Tandy era after impressive first run out in Japan. They should have some fun this season, playing their home games at the Brewery Field before they make their move to the redeveloped St Helens in 2026-27. So, where will they finish? Will they use the off-field uncertainty as fuel to have a strong season, or understandably be affected by it? Cardiff's hopes are already in the balance, while the Scarlets also have a Champions Cup campaign to manage. The Ospreys should be in a better place with a full first season under Mark Jones, and the same for the Dragons with Tia, as the false dawns of the Dragons could be over. The days of the 4 regions ending with 3 playoff places and good crowds behind them would be a fitting end. But I think it could be a West Wales event with the Ospreys and Scarlets in there, with Cardiff's focus being on getting past the departure of Matt Sherratt really quickly. Thanks for watching. Let me know how you think the regions will do this season. And next up, I've got a trip to Cornish Pirates, and later I'll look into how a Steve Tandy Wales could look. Hit subscribe if you don't want to miss it.